Hey guys, thanks for coming back. Guess what? Arnold has a new movie, and it came out this weekend. It's called The Last Stand, and he's with Johnny Knoxville and Luis Guzman. This is With a K Review. I'm Victor. Get to the chopper! I'm sorry, I had to do that one. Okay guys, let's get to it. Okay, so the last time Arnold had any real screen time, it was in Expendables 2, and in there he blew everybody up and killed everything that he could see. And oddly, that was okay with me. I know, weird, right? Okay, now if you've seen any trailers for this movie, you know that it's going to have a few explosions and a lot of guns. And very little in the way of plot and dialogue. Now, this is true in some areas in the movie, but this movie is actually a little different from what we usually get from Arnold Schwarzenegger. You have Johnny Knoxville again playing his kind of escaped mental patient type of role. And actually, I would like to see Johnny Knoxville do a serious role. Maybe not a real serious dramatic role, but something like in a dramedy where he can kind of expand his range just a little bit. You also have Luis Guzman in this movie, and he's played in a lot of small roles over the years in a lot of films. He's been in movies like The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, the comedy Waiting, and also the remake of Arthur. He's a really good character actor, and he kind of plays the same role, but I enjoy seeing him in a lot of his films. Now, when I said this movie differed from other Arnold movies, it wasn't the different surprise that I got when I saw Dredd. It actually has something more to do with the action of the movie. Here we have a movie that almost succeeds, but just falls short of being that diamond in the rough indie movie that's a hit film. Now, the story here is pretty basic. You have a drug cartel boss that escapes police custody. He has to go through a small town in order to get to Mexico, and that small town happens to be guarded by Arnold Schwarzenegger. I know. Alright, don't stop the video. Trust me, it gets better in a good way. Even though the premise of the movie and the characters are really simplistic, that's actually a good thing about the movie and also the really bad thing about the movie. The good thing is that the movie doesn't try to overemphasize itself. It is what it is and it knows it, but again, that's also a bad thing. The characters in this movie do have backstories. Arnold has a backstory about being an LAPD narcotics officer, and that really wasn't brought out. His deputy also has a love interest with the boyfriend in the town, and that wasn't brought out. Both those things could have been brought out just a little bit more and pushed just a little bit more, and that would have brought me more into the movie. But even without those pushes, the movie does a really good job on its action, and it does really good with that because the action is actually semi-realistic for a movie. The action scenes in this movie actually are pretty good, and they don't cross over into being ridiculous, like a lot of other directors do. Now, if I had any real gripe with this movie, I would really have to give that to the cartel boss and one of his henchmen. The cartel boss in this movie is actually played by Eduardo Noriega, and he does a pretty good job as the cartel boss. He has like a few moments of him being really sadistic, but I'm really not drawn into his character, and at the end it was a little anticlimactic when he has his fight scene with Arnold. And unfortunately, the same thing kind of goes for Peter Stormare, who plays the henchman of the cartel boss. He does a pretty good job in the movie, but again, his character is not brought out enough for me to actually hate him or want to see him die in the movie. He actually also can't even choose whether he wants a New Orleans accent or a Texas accent. Even though the villains in this movie aren't fleshed out as much as they should be and a lot of the backstories aren't really brought to the forefront, I really did enjoy a lot of the comedy and action that are in The Last Stand. So I decided that I want to give this movie a 2.5K review. You can enjoy Arnold giving a really good beatdown for a matinee price. Please make sure to rent this one and stream it when it becomes available. Thanks guys for watching my show. Make sure to subscribe if you like this video. And remember, never forget, if you don't like what you're watching, you can always turn it off. Thanks guys.